it is possible to implement countermeasures. However, none of these guarantee that you are 100% safe. Security matters should be a priority from the time of development of code, and adequate steps must be incorporated during the development stage. It is important to create a low privilege account first and begin to add permissions only as they are needed. Developers become much more familiar with the security framework. If they are familiar with security coding practices, you get a secure product that does not require any last-minute tests to ensure the application is secure.
And it's best practice to firewall the server so that only trusted clients can contact it in web environments. You should always only allow hosts that need to connect to SQL. If the server is well locked down, it should be able to mitigate the risk due to the following. It can do many things. It can prevent developers from uploading unauthorized or insecure scripts and components to the web server, everything from misapplied patches and administrative errors.
You can do the following so that attackers will not be able to get into the application server. Do not make assumptions about the size, type, or content of the data that is received by your application, and test the size and data type of input and enforce appropriate limits to prevent buffer overruns. Test the content of string variables and accept only expected values and reject entries that contain binary data. Escape sequences and comment characters. Never build transact SQL statements directly from user input and use stored procedures to validate user input. Implement multiple layers of validation and never concatenate user input that is not validated. Very important to remember.
Very important indeed. And you must implement consistent coding standards. You must have stack execution invalidated so that if malicious code gets into a stack, it will not, by definition, execute. This is possible in Linux. Use appropriate compilers so that they can check for vulnerabilities and then notify you. Restrict access to prevent attacks. Safety code is preloaded before an application is executed. This preloaded component can either provide safer versions of the standard unsafe functions, or it can ensure that return addresses are not overwritten.
That's correct.